If the Conservatives want the truth, we'll tell them the truth.
And there's another celebration coming, and that's Christmas.
The only people who seem to want a Christmas election is this Liberal government.
With the leader of the opposition, that Grinchy guy, Mr. Time after time after time after time.
And help us avoid a Christmas election that absolutely nobody wants.
Will they vote for a Christmas election that nobody wants?
And not support our budget and cause a Christmas election?
Support the budget and avoid a Christmas election.
And pass our budget and not cause a Christmas election.
So we can avoid a very destructive budget, a very destructive election, rather. Trying to get this budget through so that we can avoid a Christmas election. This budget to pass and to avoid a Christmas election.
By supporting our budget on November 4th and avoiding a Christmas election.
I hope that they will join us in avoiding a Christmas election by supporting the budget.
Speaker, I hope the members opposite will support this budget, avoid a Christmas election.
And we trust they will join us and vote for the budget and avoid a Christmas election.
They can help us pass the budget and avoid a Christmas election. Will they do that?
The only thing more frightening this Halloween than the Conservatives' disinformation in this House is a Christmas election which nobody wants. They're going to force a Christmas election upon Canadians. There's nothing more spooky than that.
What world does the Prime Minister live in, expecting young people to make more sacrifices while he gives millions to the rich? Happy Halloween. And there's another celebration coming, and that's Christmas. At Christmas time, people look forward to that. It's been a big year for Canada, so this year in particular, people want to celebrate Christmas. So we're going to table a budget, and Canadians would like our Liberal plan, the Prime Minister's plan, to build a very strong country. They would like that budget to pass. So can my honourable colleague commit today not to be a Grinch and to vote for this budget? At Halloween, is the government House leader going to stop scaring Canadians? What Canadians want is an affordable budget for an affordable life. Does the Prime Minister realize that young families have nothing left to sacrifice? Everything we've put in place to make life more affordable for Canadians, the Conservatives have voted against.
How many more sacrifices do young Canadians have to make so the Prime Minister can keep lining the pockets of his elitist buddies?
Time after time after time after time, this member stands in his place and votes against it every single time, Madam Speaker.
If any of those programs actually work, 700,000 kids wouldn't be lined up at food banks every single month. When will the Prime Minister stop rewarding Liberal incompetence and actually give Canadians an affordable budget for an affordable life?
Speaker, it's Halloween, and we certainly want to wish a happy Halloween to all Canadians. There's another big holiday coming up. Canadians would like to have a Christmas, a holiday season in peace. No ads with the leader of the opposition, that Grinchy guy, screaming at them through their television screens or their telephone screens, Madam Speaker. Mr. The finance critic on the other side should stand in his place right now and tell Canadians they can be off the hook. We're not going to have an election. We're going to vote for that great Liberal budget.
What sacrifices are these young people being asked to make while they get Liberal insiders rich bonuses?
I hope that they will join us in avoiding a Christmas election by supporting the budget.
The question actually was about young Canadians and what they're going to be asked to sacrifice, which of course they didn't answer. Young Canadians are going to have to figure that out in the budget, and sacrifice they have. They've sacrificed by not being able to own a home. They've sacrificed by having generationally high youth unemployment. And this Liberal message is, we passed all these things. Things should be better, except they're not. 700,000 children now at a food bank despite their programs. Youth unemployment is the highest it's been in a generation despite their programs. Their programs aren't working, and their economics is driving young people into unemployment.
By supporting our budget on November 4th and avoiding a Christmas election.
It's Halloween, and the Liberals are trying to scare people. They're threatening to call an election if their budget isn't passed as is, but they're in a minority. But if they're the ones refusing to negotiate with anyone, aren't they the ones acting in bad faith? Yes, we obviously want this budget to pass and to avoid a Christmas election. The question to my colleague is he going to vote against a Christmas election in Quebec, or is he going to support the budget? For now, they're choosing to go it alone. They're not working with anyone. Why are they holding Quebecers hostage with threats of an election at Christmas instead of negotiating? So who's not showing a constructive attitude here? Someone who says, no matter what you do, I'm going to vote against it? Or is it the people who are listening and working with the opposition and trying to get this budget through so that we can avoid a Christmas election? So they're telling young people to make sacrifices, but meanwhile, they're spending $20 billion on consultants, much to the delight of the regime's cronies. Can this Prime Minister stop asking young Canadians to make sacrifices and finally table an affordable budget for an affordable life? To vote in favor of this budget so we can avoid a very destructive budget, a very destructive election, rather, at Christmas time. This government, over the past 10 years, has pushed 2.2 million people into the food banks. He's part of a government that has caused 700,000 kids to have to resort to food banks. Will this government take responsible action and table an affordable budget for an affordable life? The budget that will be tabled on November 4th is a responsible budget, and it's an ambitious one. Now is the time to take action.
But the Prime Minister told young Canadians they need to sacrifice. While Canadians are lined up at food banks, this Liberal government hired the Prime Minister's buddies to staff his new defence procurement and major projects offices. He's paying them $679,000 and $577,000 salary. Of course, he's paying the woman less. That's his track record. So this, at a time when Canadians are struggling to afford to live. Will this Prime Minister stop making young people sacrifice so he can line the pockets of...
We're focused on affordability. We're focused on building Canada. Madam Speaker, on November 4th, we are going to come forth with a generational budget that will invest in Canada. But we are focused on affordability and building Canada. On November 4th, we will come forth with a generational budget that will invest in Canada. We will invest in Canadians. We will build this country because we believe in Canada.
Well, so far they've built a record-smashing 2.2 million food bank visits, and over 700,000 of those are children. 380,000 seniors are living in poverty. Ours. When will this Prime Minister stop using taxpayer dollars to make his rich friends richer and finally give Canadians an affordable budget for an affordable life?
Madam Speaker, we will take no lessons from the Conservatives. I hope the members opposite will join us and pass our budget and not cause a Christmas election.
Bonuses for Liberal elites. These taxpayer-funded payouts included $11 million for the fat cats at Via Rail, $30 million for the bureaucrats at Canada Mortgage and Housing, and $60 million for the bankers at the Business Development Bank, all while everyday Canadians struggle to afford the necessities of life. Instead of asking Canadians to sacrifice more, why doesn't the Prime Minister cut off insiders cashing in on Canadians' misery?
And then we encourage members opposite to support the budget and avoid a Christmas election.
It's impressive the Liberals are actually recognizing Christmas. Canadians are being asked to pull the wagon through the mud while Liberal cronies ride comfortably on top. The government isn't worried about families lining up at food banks. They're too busy lining the pockets of insiders. They're not bothered with cutting home prices. They're too focused on cutting checks to bumbling bureaucrats. They don't care about rising debt and inflationary deficits so long as the money keeps flowing to the Liberal elites. When will this Prime Minister stop using tax dollars to reward his friends?
If the Conservatives want the truth, we'll tell them the truth.
When are they finally going to stop their out-of-control spending and deliver an affordable budget for an affordable life?
Let's have a good budget, an affordable budget on November 4th, and let's have the support of the Conservatives opposite.
So, when is Ottawa finally going to take this problem seriously? The Bloc can vote in favor of that. They can help us pass the budget and avoid a Christmas election. Will they do that? At the heart of the problem is getting those drivers off our roads. They're dangerous and they don't follow the rules. When will Ottawa finally take action? You have a choice. Are you going to vote in favor of better safety on our roads and for our drivers? I certainly hope you will vote in favor.
On Halloween, we expected ghosts and goblins, not ghoulish government spending. But this Prime Minister told students they need to make more sacrifices. Liberal spending is out of control. It's a fiscal fright fest. When will this government stop its reckless tricks and finally give Canadians the treat of affordability?
Families, I trust they will support us and avoid a Christmas election. Thank you.
In my province of BC alone, food bank visits went up 80% since 2019. Canadians can't afford groceries or basic necessities. They certainly can't afford another Liberal budget.
That's right.
When will this Prime Minister finally deliver an affordable budget for an affordable life?
Project. Canadians don't live in a pretend world. They know we're here to help them, support them, make life more affordable, and build the strongest economy of the G7. So we hope you can support us and show you really care about youth and affordability on November 4th.
End quote. After a decade of Liberal deficits and inflationary spending, people just can't keep up. When will they realize their inflationary deficits are driving up the cost of food and driving people to the food bank?
We will have a budget next week that will continue to invest in Canadians, in young Canadians and families, and we trust they will join us and vote for the budget and avoid a Christmas election. Thank you.
The only people who seem to want a Christmas election is this Liberal government. So, will they present an affordable budget so families can afford to feed themselves?
If the Conservatives want the truth, we'll tell them the truth. It is disheartening to know that Conservatives don't even read the report that they quote in this House. It's obvious because the very report that they're quoting from Food Banks Canada asks our government to move forward with, if the Conservatives want the truth, we'll tell them the truth. Income assistance for people living with a disability. They ask for, if the Conservatives want the truth, we'll tell them the truth. For a dental care plan. If the Conservatives want the truth, we'll tell them the truth. They acknowledge the work of addressing the housing supply issues in this country. If the Conservatives want the truth, we'll tell them the truth. And they also mention a national school food program, which that party has voted against time and time again in this House. If the Conservatives want the truth, we'll tell them the truth. When it comes time to take 400,000 kids out of food bank lineups, what does the opposition say? They say no. If the Conservatives want the truth, we'll tell them the truth.
Madam Speaker, first the Liberals made it unaffordable to feed your kids. Now they want applause for feeding them. Canadians used to line up at the grocery store. Today, they line up by the millions at food banks. Under the Liberals, Canadians are working full-time and eating part-time because paychecks shrink while grocery bills balloon. 82% of Canadian households say they don't have enough food to eat. In college, 82% gets you an A. But for the Prime Minister, 82% of Canadians going hungry means a giant F. When will this Prime Minister stop failing Canadians, allow families to feed their own kids in their homes?
We're here for Canadians. Canadians don't live in a pretend world. They know what's going on. They know which party is there for them. That's why they voted for us on April 28th. We hope you can vote for our budget on November 4th. Thank you.
Each month in Canada, there are over 2.2 million visits to food banks. We talk about these numbers every day, and we watch them increase every month. These aren't just numbers, colleagues. These are the people that we serve. Many of them are workers whose paychecks haven't gone up the way grocery prices have. This Liberal government, however, thinks that Canadians should sacrifice even more. When will this Prime Minister give Canadians an affordable budget for an affordable life?
Madam Speaker, the party opposite has a choice to make. Will they listen to their Grinch leader and not support our budget and cause a Christmas election? Or will they join with us and pass a generational budget?
When will this Prime Minister finally give Canadians an affordable budget for an affordable life?
Madam Speaker, this feels a little bit disconnected when just last session we saw the opposition vote against a national school food program. But good news, they have a chance to do what's right, to correct their error of the past, and vote to support our budget in just a few days' time to make that program permanent. Will they do that, Madam Speaker, or will they vote for a Christmas election that nobody wants?
Speaker, will the Prime Minister confirm that he is not stashing cash on offshore havens?
Madam Speaker, we've got a generational budget coming on November 4th. I hope the Conservatives support it and help us avoid a Christmas election that absolutely nobody wants.
Can the Prime Minister confirm he has not a single dollar stashed away in offshore tax havens?
Madam Speaker, Canadians are rightly focused on the real issues. Speaker, I hope the members opposite will support this budget, avoid a Christmas election.
But it appears that the Prime Minister, in his role as Chair of Brookfield, is avoiding paying his fair share of taxes. Can the Prime Minister confirm, does he have any investments in offshore tax havens, yes or no?
If the Conservatives want the truth, we'll tell them the truth. Madam Speaker, Canadians know that our economy faces significant headwinds due to the trade tensions with the United States, and Canadians knew that, and that's exactly why they voted for this government. If the Conservatives want the truth, we'll tell them the truth. And a Prime Minister with the economic resume to get us through turbulent times and build a stronger economy, if the Conservatives want the truth, we'll tell them the truth. Next week on November 4th, we'll present our first budget as a new government. If the Conservatives want the truth, we'll tell them the truth, which will focus on jobs and opportunities, which will focus on growth and productivity, which will make generational investments to unlock new opportunities for youth and all Canadians. If the Conservatives want the truth, we'll tell them the truth. The only question is, will Conservatives give...
We've heard testimony that this Prime Minister's company dodged $5.3 billion in taxes from 2021 to 2024. That's a lot of programs, Madam Speaker. Again, can the Prime Minister confirm to Canadians that he has no investments in offshore tax havens, yes or no?
If the Conservatives want the truth, we'll tell them the truth. The only thing more frightening this Halloween than the Conservatives' disinformation in this House is a Christmas election, which nobody wants. If the Conservatives want the truth, we'll tell them the truth. The Conservatives are proposing to force an election on Canadians at a time when they expect this Parliament to stand together. If the Conservatives want the truth, we'll tell them the truth. Our budget on November 4th is going to present a strong path to build a stronger Canada, to unlock opportunities for all Canadians, to boost productivity and growth in this country, and the Conservatives will vote against. They've already said it. They haven't even seen the budget, and they are going to vote against. If the Conservatives want the truth, we'll tell them the truth. They're going to force a Christmas election upon Canadians. There's nothing more spooky than that.